In 1990, a woman is rushed into a hospital in Japan with crushing chest pain, a racing heart, and trouble breathing. Every sign points to a heart attack, but when doctors look inside, her arteries aren't blocked. Nothing is torn. Nothing is clotted. Instead, one chamber has ballooned outward into a strange, narrow-necked shape. Doctors will later name that shape after a tool fishermen used to trap octopus. She wasn't having a heart attack. She just buried someone she loved. That condition has a name now: Takotsubo cardiomyopathy. You know it by its other name, broken heart syndrome. It's real, it's measurable, and in rare cases, it kills. So here's the question we're actually answering today. When we say heartbreak hurts, is that just a figure of speech, or is your body running an actual emergency response? The same one it runs for a physical injury every time you lose someone? Short answer, it's not a metaphor. It's a misfire. Your brain has one alarm system for danger. It was never built to tell the difference between a predator and a breakup. Today, we're tracing that single alarm. Call it the survival misfire. Through your brain, your heart, your gut, and your immune system. Same alarm. Different damage every time. Start with the brain. This is where the confusion technically begins. In 2003, psychologist Naomi Eisenberger at UCLA put people in a brain scanner and had them play a simple ball tossing game. Eventually, the other players started leaving them out. The moment they were excluded, one brain region lit up, the anterior cingulate cortex. That's the exact same region that activates when you stub a toe or burn your hand. That's why none of our heartbreak language is actually metaphorical. He ripped my heart out. It felt like a punch in the chest. Your brain isn't being poetic. It's filing both experiences under the same folder, damage. So why would evolution build it this way? For most of human history, being alone wasn't just sad. It was lethal. No group meant no protection, no shared food, no one to notice if you were dying. So the brain repurposed its oldest danger system, the one built for physical threats, and wired social rejection straight into it. Losing a bond doesn't feel like an inconvenience. It feels like an injury. Because as far as your ancient alarm system is concerned, it is one. Here's where it gets stranger. In 2010, anthropologist Helen Fisher and her team scanned the brains of people who'd recently been dumped. They were still in love, still rejected, an average of 2 months out. While looking at a photo of their ex, two reward regions lit up: the ventral tegmental area and the nucleus accumbens. That's the same circuitry that activates in cocaine cravings. These same heartbroken participants reported thinking about their ex for more than 85% of their waking hours. Not because they were weak, because their brain was running a withdrawal protocol. Love floods that reward circuit with dopamine for months, sometimes years. Cut the supply suddenly and the brain doesn't shrug. It craves. That's the actual neurochemistry behind checking an ex's Instagram at 2 a.m. or driving past their apartment by accident. It's not a character flaw. It's the same circuit a smoker's brain uses, just pointed at a person instead of a cigarette. Now, back to that hospital in Japan, because the mechanism is wilder than stress is bad for you. Sudden grief, or shockingly, sudden joy, triggers a flood of epinephrine and norepinephrine. Those hormones slam into receptors that are unusually concentrated in one part of the heart, the left ventricle. Under that flood, the ventricle contracts so hard, so repeatedly, that within minutes it exhausts itself and stops pumping properly. Blood pools, the chamber balloons, and the vessels feeding it can spasm shut, starving the muscle of oxygen even while it's full of blood. The result mimics a heart attack almost perfectly. Chest pain, shortness of breath, panic, and not a single blocked artery. About 5% of cases end in cardiac arrest. Most people recover within weeks. The population most at risk is postmenopausal women, likely because estrogen normally helps protect the heart from this exact kind of stress response. But here's the part almost nobody's talking about yet. Research published in 2023 and 2024 found that Takotsubo patients don't just have an overloaded heart. They have measurably different brain connectivity, heightened activity, altered wiring. In the amygdala, the cingulate cortex, and the insula, the same regions involved in processing fear and emotional pain. The heart isn't malfunctioning in isolation. It's taking direct orders from a brain that's sounding a full-body alarm. That alarm doesn't stop at the heart. For over 30 years, psychologist Janice Kekol-Glaser at Ohio State has been building the case that grief is, biologically, an immune event. She helped found an entire field for its psychoneuroimmunology. Her research has repeatedly found that widows and widowers show reduced natural killer cell activity in the months after a loss. Those are the immune cells responsible for hunting down infected and abnormal cells in your body. One 2014 study in JAMA Internal Medicine found that the risk of heart attack or stroke roughly doubles in the 30 days following bereavement. Put it together and you get something doctors call the widowhood effect. In elderly couples, the risk of dying within 3 months of losing a spouse can rise by up to 90%. Not from sadness in some vague, poetic sense, from inflammation, from a stress-flooded body too busy fighting an emergency that isn't a virus or a wound. It's fighting an empty side of the bed instead. So the alarm hits your brain, your dopamine circuit, your heart, your immune system, which raises an obvious question. Does it hit everyone the same way? No. And that's the strange part. Give the same hormone flood to two different heartbroken people. One stops eating completely. The other can't stop reaching for the same takeout order they used to share. Same cortisol spike. Opposite symptom. One person can't sleep. Lying awake at 3 a.m. running the same 5-minute argument on a loop. Another sleeps 12 hours a day because the body, overloaded, simply shuts the system down to cope. Headaches, stomach pain, even skin breakouts and hair thinning. These aren't separate complaints. They're the same alarm, translated differently by whatever system in your body happens to be listening loudest that week, which leaves one real mystery. If this alarm is this powerful, strong enough to reshape a heart, suppress an immune system, hijack a reward circuit, why does it ever stop? It stops because the alarm isn't permanent, it's adaptive. As weeks pass, the prefrontal cortex, the brain's regulation center, gradually overrides it. Dopamine craving fades, cortisol drops, and one factor speeds that recalibration up more than almost anything else: connection. People with strong support networks consistently report lower pain and faster recovery after loss. Isolated people show the opposite. The cure for a system built around bonding is, unsurprisingly, more bonding. But sit with this for a second before we close. The same circuitry that made losing this person unbearable is the exact circuitry that made loving them possible in the first place. You cannot get a nervous system wired to celebrate connection without also getting one that screams when connection is severed. There is no version of you capable of deep love that isn't also, by definition, capable of this exact pain. They are not two systems. They are one. Every symptom we covered today isn't evidence that something in you broke. The chest pain, the sleeplessness, the obsessive thinking, the lowered immunity. It's evidence that something in you worked exactly as designed, for a danger your body still believes is happening. The depth of your heartbreak isn't a flaw in your wiring. It's the receipt. So the next time your chest aches over someone who's gone, you're not imagining it. Your body never drew a line between real pain and emotional pain in the first place. If this changed how you think about heartbreak, send it to someone who's in the middle of one right now. Sometimes, "it's not just in your head" is the most comforting sentence you can hear. There's a flip side to this. It's what happens when someone's threat detection system runs too well, all the time, on everyone. Go watch The Psychology of People Who Are Too Aware. Next, same alarm system, very different wiring.